Pila, what up?
Hey man, we're back.
Yeah, we're doing this on a weekly basis. We only missed that 1 week, I think,
Yeah,
and then we
well,
did
we
like
missed
two the
that,
next
and
week.
yeah. Then I failed to put a couple on Spotify. People lost their minds, so we're
Yeah.
back.
Well, we are back as long as this weather stays away. I mean, I'm hearing this like it's like a Western movie outside of my window
Yeah,
here.
it's a little crazy.
So, but yeah, man, good week. Outside of good week for the Eagles. Bad week for the team Mugshots. We lost to arguably the worst team in the league.
Oh no,
Figured out that 7 and 8 year olds act like 7 and 8 year olds sometimes.
that happens, no doubt. Yeah, Palmer wrapped up. He had his last game this past Saturday, and dude, he had two outstanding hits. That's the best he's hit all season. So I was super proud of him. We were just hitting our stride, but we're gonna get him into Coach Pitts next year, and yeah,
Well, it's a good thing you're talking about hitting right now because when we get to our guest today, he's like a hitting machine, hitting king.
no doubt.
So let's go ahead and roll it, and let's get to the show. Welcome to the Top Talk. Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another episode of To the Top Talk, brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar. To the Top Talk is the original and longest running Southern Miss podcast in the market. We are recording this episode on
Oh, March the 13th.
or May the 13th, either one, from
Oh
beautiful Hattiesburg,
man.
Mississippi. Here is always with your break from the High Resource 5 propaganda to talk a little Southern Miss athletics. I am your host, Jason Bailey. Joining me now and joining me again, the one and only Patrick Lowry.
What's up, brother? Yeah, ooh, that was a fumble. I was so caught off guard there. I was reading something
Well,
and
and we tried to run the music live, and it's hard to hit the post right there, bro.
yeah, it
Especially the
is.
first time, I almost got it, but it wasn't quite tight.
Hey,
Um,
we're learning. We're learning. We're getting better each week.
Today's episode is brought to you by Mugshots in Hattiesburg, the South's premier sports grill and bar, and it all started right here in Hattiesburg 20 years ago. At Mugshots are always having a good time, happy hour specials daily, and with 18 specialty burgers, they've got you covered. Go see our good friends at Mugshots in Hattiesburg today. Mugshots, delivering craveable food and personalized hospitality to friends and family in a place obsessed with sports. All right, so what happened since the last time we recorded?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Baseball was up in Jonesboro for a conference set with Arkansas State. The Lady Eagles on the softball field got after it in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. There was a firestorm on Twitter about the cheerback seating and tickets available at the Pete.
No.
We're going to get into that more with the live portion of this. And athletic director Jeremy McLean has been added to the NCAA baseball selection committee.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's really cool, and somebody that can speak to that and all of those things that we just laid out there is our guest. He's basically a third host at this point. I think he's been on 5 or 6 times. You can find him on different radio shows, different podcasts. He's Southern Miss through and through. He's the hit king at Southern Miss. I guess that record will just never be broken.
No.
If it didn't happen with Gabe and the COVID situation, or with Danny Lynch playing 270 games or whatever he played, then I don't think it's ever going to happen. So welcome to the show, Hit King himself, Mr. Trey Sutton.
Nice drop. I like that. It's my favorite.
There we go.
So what's up, buddy?
Nothing. I'm broadcasting live here on my back porch tonight with rain and thunder in the background. I've discovered that when you have your second child, you get kicked out of your game room. So had to move all my memorabilia, not all of it. Some of it's still hanging up in our 2-year-old's room, but yeah, I don't really have a room to go to now, so I'm out on the back porch, out in nature.
So how are the kiddos? And remind me of their ages and how's that going?
So Liam, he just turned 2 on May 3rd, and So all he wants to do is hit, kick, or throw any kind of ball and watch the Braves. So
You're raising him right.
I'm pleased to this point. And then our second, she's not even a month old, so she's still itty bitty. After this second one here, I think I've determined that the newborn stage is not my favorite. I hang out with the 2-year-old a lot more because we can actually have some form of conversation and interaction.
I'll tell you, every phase I think was my favorite. Looking like right now, it's the best. I mean, Jack and I can play catch, right? We can do rapid fire in the front yard, and he's challenging me to races, and he's 7 years old. So that's but also I remember, falling asleep with my finger in the crib, and because he was hanging on to it and he wouldn't go to sleep if I moved my finger like an inch. That was my every part of being a father so far has been my favorite part. I've just happened to be in my most recent favorite part right now. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Best job I've ever had. Well, so you are the head coach at West Jones High School. You guys have won a state championship a couple years ago. It's a very established program over there since you played at West Jones and now, of course, being the head coach. So how did the season go this year?
We just wrapped up last week. We got beat by George County in the South State semifinals. So we had another good year. Ended 23-8, I think it was. We always play a tough schedule, so we beat some really good teams this year: Madison Central, MRA, South Jones. It's always kind of sad to see it end, and especially when we get kids in as seventh graders, and so by the time they leave, you've been around them a pretty good bit for 6 years of their life, and so that's always a difficult day or night whenever it ends. Just kind of sending them off and just knowing they're not going to be around every day like they have been for the last 6 years. But it was a good year. I mean, I was pleased. We had some really good arms this year that carried us, and we actually our lineup was very young. We had 3 seniors that played a lot every day, and other than that, there were some nights we had 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores in there.
Wow.
So we like, obviously like what we feel like could be coming down the road with those guys.
Did you have any of those seniors? Any of them going to be playing at the next level, or do you have any guys that are coming to USM? Or
we have Camden Clark, who's actually named Mr. Baseball for Class 6A. Had a really good year. He struck out, I think it was 138 batters and 60-something innings. I mean, it was just
wow.
But he's going to PR.
If you fouled one off against that guy, it was like high-fiving back to the dugout.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it wasn't like, he was throwing against a bunch of scrubs. He, Madison Central, MRA, South Jones, Germantown. I mean, he every night he went out, he punched a lot of guys out. And so he's going to Pearl River Community College next year. He's one of the best defensive catchers I've ever been around too, and he's a switch hitter. So he's got a lot going for him. And I think what he'll probably do is get down there next year and we'll probably, talking to their coaches, I feel like they're going to try and use him, as a two-way guy. It's harder to do as a catcher, obviously. But I figure in, a couple years he'll have it mapped out what he's going to end up doing, because I anticipate him playing beyond junior college ball too. And then we've got 2 guys going to Co-Lin as pitchers, Carter Leggett and Jackson Rayburn, who both had good years for us on the mound. And our shortstop is going to Jones College. So we had 4 guys that are going to keep playing. So that's cool.
Very cool. Last time you were on with us, I think we had Dustin Dickerson on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Have you talked to him lately, and how's he doing?
Yeah, we still keep up. He really, to be honest, like I mean, we talk baseball a little bit, but he'll send me videos of stuff that happens. To this point, I don't think he's started any bench clearings this year, so we still have time for that. Uh, but we're in a dynasty fantasy football league together, and so we just had our rookie draft right after the NFL draft, and so to be honest, a lot of our conversation centers around fantasy football too. So, but he's doing well as far as I can tell. So I need him to get to Double A because I think their Double A team is in Arkansas, so it wouldn't be too bad of a drive to get up there. He's in Davenport, Iowa, I think it is right now at
Okay.
High A, and so
Okay.
I need him to take one more step and get to Double A so that Arkansas is not too far.
Run through, if you can, run through when you say double high A and double. I know what you're talking about, but for people out there that maybe not so familiar with how the farm systems work, run them through the progressions there, like and maybe where he started off and
Yeah, so you get drafted and you go out, you go to wherever the organization's spring training facility is. I think the way they have it set up now is everybody kind of Midwest to Western part of the country is out in the Phoenix Scottsdale area,
Mhm.
and then everybody kind of east of that is spread out in Florida. So he's with the Royals, so their base of operations is out in Arizona. So typically, what happens, you get drafted and you go out there and run through your physical and pass that and do all the paperwork, and then they send you off to uh, wherever they see fit, really. And actually, they have rookie ball teams that play, around the area uh, that their spring training facilities at. So you kind of go rookie ball, low A, high A. Like the Royals, obviously they have a rookie ball team out in Arizona. Low A, I think, is in Columbia, South Carolina. High A is in Davenport, Iowa. Double A is in Northwest Arkansas, and Triple A, I can't remember where they're. Oh, Triple A is in Omaha, the Omaha, the
Oh, cool.
Omaha Royals.
Cool.
So yeah, so rookie ball to the A's, and then Double A, Triple A in the show.
How's he hitting?
Actually, I actually looked him up yesterday to see how he'd been doing because, like I said, we don't talk a lot about baseball, just here and there. But he had been up a few weeks ago, up close to 260. I think he's kind of gone through a rough stretch a little bit, down around 220 or so. But he'll figure that out. And he's playing, defense at a premium position, and some of the Twitter accounts I follow with the Royals. Uh, they kind of tweet out every week some of their top defensive plays, and he's been on there more than once, which is no surprise. So he's doing his thing.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen a couple of the. I saw a diving play up the middle where he kind of flipped it over to the second baseman, and so yeah, it seems like defensively anyway, just kind of business as usual. And speaking of hitting streaks, that's something that we are growing used to right now at Southern Miss. Slade Wilkes is on a tear. He's almost caught your longest streak. I think Slade's at what? Slade's at 22 now. I think, is that right, Pilo? Do you
I
know?
think it may be more than that. I think it's like around
Well,
25, right? 24, 25?
Well, I think
I'll look it up.
Sut is sitting at 24, correct?
I don't
Sutton,
know.
you don't know?
I can't remember.
Well,
The only thing I know about that hitting streak was uh, that was when I blew my knee out. Was in the midst of that hitting streak, so it actually ended in 07 when I blew my knee out, and then I picked it up for a few more games in 08 to start the year, and then something happened and I sucked.
Yeah, I think so. I think Slade is at 20. Well, when Slade was at 21 games, I can't remember if that's including the Sunday game or not. But
I'll say
Trey Sutton,
he was at 21 going into the weekend, I think, so he may be at 24.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's close to 24.
It's
I'm
because you
trying
were
to
in
pull it up.
all-time sixth place, tied with B.A. Volmuth with 24. And ahead of you is Cameron Brunty, 25, James Ewing, 26, Kevin Young, 28, Michael Artman, 33, and Todd Nace at 41. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
But talk about, I mean, being like in that zone. I mean, like, does it just look like a beach ball? I mean, is there just a ton of luck involved? Like, I know when you have the streak that long, you have to have some games where you just accidentally cap one over the infield or something. But uh,
Yeah.
talk about being on this, and does it get in your head? I mean, do you get in there saying, "Damn it, I got to do it"? You know, I got to extend the streak.
Yeah, I mean, I'll like, referencing back to that month or so. I remember the thing I remember about that is like, and I didn't really. It wasn't like I was counting the games. Like I'm at 15. But you just like you're in a zone and you just kind of you look up and you're like, well, I've got a lot of hits here recently and in a lot of games. And the thing I remember about about that stretch uh, in my college career was like, yeah, like you said, I had never in my life had I seen the ball like I was seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter if it was a fastball, breaking ball, like I was just it like you said, it looked like a beach ball. Like, and I remember, and really like the game that I hurt my knee. Uh, I had that thought. I was like, there's nothing that they can throw me right now that I'm not on. Like I don't. They can't beat me with anything right now.
Yeah.
And then my knee exploded. But
So Slade is at 24. So he's sitting at 24, and his current reach base streak is at 31 right now. 31
yeah,
games.
and that's impressive. But yeah, there's obviously luck involved. Um, some of it, and some of it's just dictated by the game too. I mean, you get in a zone like that, and people know it. Your opponents know it, and so you have games where you know they're pitching around you probably a little more
Mm-hmm.
than other games, and so as far as having team at bats, because that's what's the most important thing. You know, there may be games where you have to take walks because opponents
Hmm.
are not really going at you because you're in such a zone, and they obviously know it too. So um, it does like, and you do start thinking about it. It's kind of unavoidable, especially when people start talking about it. Um, you get to the seventh inning and you're like, all right, do I have one or two more chances at this? And
Mm-hmm.
like the other night or the other day, Slade, what was that, the ninth inning? I think he
Yep.
lined one to left um, and extended it. So
Yeah, he
uh,
didn't get that hit in the seventh, and I was like, okay, well that kind of may do it, and
Yeah,
right,
then we got
his
back
teammates
around.
kind of had to get him to the
yeah,
other at bat.
we scored some runs there late that got him back around, and
Yep.
he had another shot to do it, and he
And
did.
talk about you mentioned maybe throwing around you. Well, you can't do that right now because of the emergence of Davis Gillespie. He's my favorite hitter in the lineup. Just something about his like stability up there, and he's so strong. And
Well,
just
he's like really quietly hitting 325 or whatever it is. Like it
mhm.
might be the quietest 320
Yeah,
that
329
I
right now.
remember. Like he just kind of goes about his business, and yeah, like you said, that's the thing. If you don't have guys behind you and around you that are swinging it well too, people they're going to typically they're going to make you try and get yourself out. They're not going to give you anything to barrel, and if they feel confident about going at guys around you, and I think that's obviously helped Slade too because I mean the whole team we've been swinging it well for a while now, a lot of
Mhm.
guys. So um, it's been good to watch.
No doubt.
So, and we've kind of hit on this a little bit, but kind of talk about your thoughts on the season so far as if you could give us a grade, kind of where we are. I know if you've listened, we've talked about it week by week. We have felt like it's been a roller coaster. I mean, I feel like we're obviously on the right trajectory right now, but kind of talk about where we've been and where we are right now.
Yeah, we were trying to run through the gauntlet of emotions that we've had set, and it was like super high expectations to like, you know what, this is finally a rebuild. To you know what, maybe we're no good. To are we back? And now we're like, how the hell we got the same record as we did last year? You know, like it's that's the kind of season it's been though.
Yeah, yeah. I think I would echo everything y'all said, and it just goes back to, and it's hard to do as a fan, as far as it goes back to just like it's a really long season, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't, and you don't know how it's all going to pan out, and we've all been kind of, we're kind of notorious. I feel like as a program, we're notorious for somewhere in the season we're going to have a winning streak that's kind of extended, and we've been waiting on that. And yeah, like you said, it almost had gotten to the point. Well, are we gonna go on that streak this year, or are we just
Yeah.
and here we are. It reminds me. I've told some people this. It reminds me a lot of uh, our 2007 team, and I can't remember what our RPI was, but we had like 10 or 12 games left, and we were on the outside looking in. Um, our RPI was like low 50s, I think. And we rolled off 10 straight, swept Memphis, swept Houston at Houston, won midweek games, won the first game of the conference tournament. Um, so you just never know. I mean,
Yeah.
you never know how the entirety of the season is going to pan out. And I think it speaks to our program that we as fans, you know, we're sitting around like, okay, when's the winning streak going to happen? But that I think that's a testament to our program, because it's kind of a characteristic of our program, that we just find a way. It seems like every year to go on an extended winning streak and really solidify our place in the postseason.
Yeah, no, we're spoiled rotten in every way, shape, and form with Southern Miss baseball for sure. And you mentioned RPI right there, but currently our RPI, what's our RPI right now, Pilo?
Well, we actually dropped a spot.
32, I think.
We're at 33.
Oh, is it 33 now? I know
Yeah,
New
Tech
Orleans
jumped
played
up.
today. I want to say I looked on Warren Nolan. Sometimes they're a day late, but I think there might have been a game today that somebody we played lost, and it might have dropped us a spot or something.
Yeah, Coastal moved up one spot, and Louisiana Tech moved up one spot.
If you were to just put into just to paraphrase kind of about this past weekend in particular, I mean, we are a good team, and Arkansas State right now is not a good team, but we've shown this year that we can probably lose to anybody or beat anybody. But what do you? And we're going to get into this more when the live starts off tonight. But what are your thoughts on this past weekend?
I felt like we handled the business we needed to. I mean, and we know it, and if we know it, obviously the team knows it. Like, they know that these last 10 games were really important as far as postseason, and thus far we've kind of answered the bell. I think we went over there. And, RPI isn't quite as affected on the road when you lose, but playing a team hovering around 200 in the RPI, it wasn't gonna help us any losing any of those games. So the fact we went over there and swept, and really, I kind of felt like soundly swept, the way we swung it, and just play it like the way we played. I mean, it was just a good weekend, and we played really well and handled the business we needed to.
Yeah, this lineup has become feared, I think. Like
Yeah.
there was a time where I was like, bottom of the lineup, here we go. Or
Well, and again, it just goes to the talking points at the beginning of the year were how many new faces we had, and with that, we knew there was going to be some growing. Even some guys that had played Division I baseball, this is a different level almost than what some of them had played, as far as expectations, and in a program that is perennially in the mix nationally. And so I think you've kind of seen that. I mean, there were some really frustrating weeks that, especially at the plate early where, everybody's wanting to fire Creel. And I hadn't heard
Don't hear much about that
the last
anymore.
month or so. But yeah, you look up and I pulled it up a second ago, but obviously McIntyre's he's a magician. But then you've got like you said, Gillespie's 329, Wilkes is at 318, Pratt's at 316, Russo's up over 300, and then the other guys, Pato and Monastir, and I mean they're all not far off of that. So it's not like it's just one guy doing it or a couple guys. And to me, I feel like it's just been a matter of guys getting at bats and getting experience. And I think you've kind of seen the growth happen.
Awesome. Hey, so you've been out to the Roost a lot this year. Tell me a little bit about this jambalaya.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe my question was, how many bowls do you think me and you could have put down that night if it was available?
me and you. I mean,
I don't know how many we had, but I quit.
I know I had 4 at least.
Yeah.
It was something.
Yeah, Chris Landry is
it
a
was something
magician.
special.
No doubt.
Awesome. Well, and if it's cool with you, I was going to ask you. I was going to get your thoughts on the ticket situation and the empty chairback situation, or whatever you want to call it. But we plan on getting into that along with the weekend series when we go on this live. So unless you have daddy duty, if you want to stick it out with us and see how this goes, you are more than welcome to either talk about it right now or join us for the live.
I think I'd love to join the live.
We'll
talk
that.
about tickets.
I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and we'll shut it down right now. We'll end it with a big Southern Miss.
To the top.
Okay, and we'll be right back.